gained 1.1 kilos of muscle and you lost 1.4 kilos of fat in only 7 days.
Okay guys, quick video just to touch on BIA, or InBody as we have in Australia, popular all over the world. Quick explanation of how these machines work, because they've been brought up a few times to show results on our video. So BIA involves running, basically the premise is running light electrical current through the body, and the premise is that fat-free mass contains mostly water, while fat contains very little water. So the model basically works out that you could get an estimate of how much fat-free mass you have by running these electrical currents through the body. So it'll go from one part of the body to the next and basically hit either fat or muscle and differentiate. Okay, so let's move on to why it's problematic. Biggest issue, path of least resistance is where the electrical current will follow. Means that if you can't...
So it's going to follow the muscle, right? The muscle should be of least resistance, so it should read muscle.
Other way around. So, well, it's going to skip certain areas of your body altogether. The current will pass through internal tissues basically and won't even hit the fat if it's sitting under the skin. It's going to basically go through internal tissues. So
visceral fat versus around the organ fat makes a difference.
Absolutely. So it can't differ. If it could find it, it could differentiate, but because it goes through the path of least resistance, it's not going to be accurate at all. It basically can't differentiate between the fluid inside your cells and outside of your cells with that current. So the other issue is it'll miss entire sections of your body. So you see people who just do the one standing on scales and holding their hands on the scale. It'll go through one leg and out the other, and same with the hands. You can miss your entire torso.
How exactly do they expect us to get an accurate reading by standing on a friggin' device that doesn't know a single thing about us?
Yeah, it's flawed logic. It's absolutely flawed logic.
Would our diet play a role? Would our hydration status play a role?
Hydration status can absolutely change the results that you get. So you could get a result, drink 2 litres of water and get another result 5 minutes later that's completely different. And it's been proven. It's been done many times. So body fat, who cares what your body fat is, to be fair? I mean, you're not going to know with most methods anyway. The best method is hydrostatic, and even that has an error rate up to 6%.
I stopped being friends with Susan because she's too high in body fat. I asked her when I first met her.
Yeah.
Who asks for your body fat upon meeting you? Like, you can't go off a number on the scale, and it's highly inaccurate.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So when we look at studies and we compare it to hydrostatic testing, so keep in mind that hydrostatic testing has a 6% variance and it's considered the gold standard. Even people who make InBody or BIA machines consider hydrostatic the gold standard. So what they do is they compare their machine to hydrostatic, which has a 6% variance.
What exactly is hydrostatic?
So hydrostatic is basically dunking you in water. It's the only true real way of measuring body fat that we have. That's right up there. Dex is closer, but really relies on hydration. And all these methods are only really good at long-term comparison. So comparing at the same hydration levels over time. So the difference in the study between BIA and actual hydrostatic testing was 8%. So remember, hydrostatic had a 6% variance already, and then we have another 8% variance between BIA and hydrostatic.
So if I weigh in at 60 kilos and it says my body fat percentage is 30%, I could technically have a 36% or a 24% body fat reading.
And that's with hydrostatic. Then we're looking at another 8% variance on top of that.
So I could be either 20 or 40.
Yes. So we've got the errors compounded then, where BIA tries to use the variance and figure out the variance and find some kind of bias between tests to try and find a happy medium. the best results you're going to get are 8 to 9% variance, and you're not going to know where they are. And then that's still based on hydration being perfect on each of the tests.
So touching on hydration and diet, if I was to go super clean, super healthy for a week, drink all my water, be super hydrated, get tested from the start of the week when I wasn't hydrated, wasn't eating really healthy, and then I cut all my carbs out because carbs make you fat, and then drink all this water, how exactly are my results going to change?
So much. So much. Well, your hydration levels are going to change for starters. From a glycogen perspective, I mean, you cut your carbs out, you're going to cut your glycogen down, you're going to cut your water weight down. So you're going to get a completely different result just based on hydration. So it's an inaccurate comparison. The only comparison I would say is worthwhile would be
dunking me in water.
Dunking you in, but doing it consistently the same way with the same hydration at the same sort of time of day with the same amount, you know, after exercise with the right hydration or whatever you do, go through the same routine as a comparison guide, not as a body fat testing guide.
But I heard this girl say that she gained, what was it? 1 kilo of muscle.
Yeah, and lost 1.4 kilos of fat. I mean, in a week.
In 7 days?
I mean...
Can you really put on a kilo of muscle in 7 days? Like,
there's so much science that says no. Before even looking at the testing, I mean, we know for a fact that that's false.
Actually, there was one point where I put on, well, it said I had put on 3 kilos of muscle just because I was that much more hydrated.
Yeah.
Would that play a role?
Absolutely. So that's the defining factor. So you pretty much can't compare. It's almost impossible to compare. So, I mean, if you really want to know what your body fat is, go and get an autopsy.
Wouldn't that mean you have to kill me first?
You've got to die. You've got to die, but you'll know your loved ones will know what your body fat is. Otherwise, for the average person, look in the mirror, be happy or unhappy, do something about it.
Yeah, like, seriously, Vince Ronda said it. If you step on the scale and you're not happy with what's in the mirror, what's going to say you're happy with what's on the scale? Unless you're happy with how you see yourself in the mirror, that number on the scale means nothing. And even more, your body fat percentage means nothing.
Yeah.
Like, whether you're a general person not wanting to compete, just wanting to live a happy lifestyle, what difference does it make if you are not happy with what is in the mirror? Yeah. And if you are someone that does want to compete, since when did the judges come up and pinch you and say, you have just a little bit too much body fat there. I think you're about 1% over. What are you, 15%? Like, they judge you on what they see. Whether you're in sports or whether you're a gym pop, people look at you and they don't ask, what is your body fat percentage? They see you as you. And who the hell judges a friendship based on what someone looks like?
And I can get a bikini girl at 21% and another one at 18%, and they'll look completely different because they both carry the weight in completely different ways. That's the other thing. So you can carry the exact... I wouldn't even question if two people said they had the exact same body fat and a different configuration of that fat, and they looked completely different. It's like some people get abs early and some don't.
And remember that a percentage is a section of a total. So they could weigh more, and because they have greater muscle mass, it could read as a lower percentage of body fat. Correct. If they weigh less and have less muscle, but they have that same body fat, it's going to read as a greater percentage of body fat. Absolutely so getting a body fat reading, it just shows you there that two people could look totally different. One could look like a flop. One could look like a magazine person with the same body fat.
Correct.
That's one reason not to. The other reason not to is that unless you want to go dunk yourself in water or die for an autopsy, it is highly inaccurate.
Yeah, well, you're looking at 6% even with the best method we've got. And then you're looking at a further 8% variance on the ones that these guys are all pointing out online, saying how great in body is.
From bottom to top of variance.
It's too much variance. So it's not even worth doing. Like I said on the other video, send me $20, I'll guess. Make it 15, I'm nice.
5% discount, plus a graph right
25%
here.
25% discount, do the maths.
Insert the graph here.
Insert the graph. We'll put the graph in.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks everyone.